Welcome back to Nightcap Chat, pop culture podcast, talk all things comic books, video games, movies, TV shows, and more. Today, we are talking Hulu's MODOK, Jamie Foxx joining the MCU, and Benedict Cumberbatch joining Spider-Man 3. I'm Blade O'Neill.
I'm Lance O'Neill.
And before we dive into it, just wanted to take a second to once again thank you all for taking the time to listen. And if you do enjoy the podcast, don't forget to tell your friends, share on social media, and all that good jazz. Ken is at the shop, providing you great customer service and great comic books. You know, and he didn't ask me to say that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I know that sounds like a shameless plug. But I do mean it. Lance is smirking.
No, that was good. That was nice. He is doing a great job over there.
Yep.
And thank you all for coming by and dropping by my stream, because I've had a huge increase in views on the stream and the past broadcasts. People going back and watching my old broadcast. So thank you guys for doing that. It's awesome. And I just have one thing to say before we get started. I listened to last week's episode.
I had a feeling that's what you were about to say. Go
on. And I just have to say, man, is Steve okay? Like,
why?
Did I hurt him in some way? Or is he like envious of me? Like, I know sometimes, jealousy can really, work up in people differently, but when you predict comic books like quadrupling in value over a course of 1 week, and maybe he's not one of those people that didn't pull the trigger, so he's a little mad about it. I don't know.
He was saying you're a genius.
Well, he was, but he was saying why? Like he was like questioning it. Like, how dare he question that?
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what Steve has to say. Steve will be back.
Yeah, he better be. In fact, next time he comes back, I better be there, because I'd love to hash this out one-on-one. And I've been listening to his YouTube videos on Res TV and Call Back with Steve, and it's been going great. Although he recently just did one with his wife. It was top 10 or 20 greatest female characters.
Okay.
Like in like movies and stuff. It doesn't have to be like comic books or anything. Yeah. And I was really upset that I listened to the whole thing and I didn't hear once Marissa Tomei and My Cousin Vinny.
Interesting.
If that isn't one of like the greatest like female, like just funny and like strong and just such a good like overall, type character. I don't know. I was so disappointed in him.
Wow.
I commented that on his YouTube, but I didn't hear back, so I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he's mad at me.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's a great pick. I love that. I didn't catch that episode, so I'll have to go back and see who was chosen. Well, before we dive into the main topic, there was some interesting casting news that dropped a few hours ago, as far as I'm aware, and actually I texted it to you guys. And it led me down this rabbit hole of the casting for the rest of the movie. But I saw Superhero Hype report that David Hasselhoff is going to be voicing Superman in Dark Knight's Death Metal in the, I guess they're doing animated shorts for this. Now, I haven't read this comic. I know this is a really popular DC title. It's a little weird, not quite my cup of tea, even though I love Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. But I was like, why are they doing David Hasselhoff? So I went through and I clicked the article and I found all the casting news. And I see it's all these like heavy metal rock stars, which is cool. I mean, especially if you're into that, like fine, whatever. It's oh gosh, the Joker who laughs, a Batman who laughs, whatever. But I was going through the casting, and sure enough, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, the writer and artists on, the Batman Who Laughs and, all this DC metal stuff, Dark Knight's death metal. Scott Snyder is one of the voice actors in it. He's playing Robin King, and Greg Capullo. You know, he's drawn for Spawn and Batman, Marvel titles. You know, as far back as X-Force, Quasar. Greg Capullo is playing Sergeant Rock, and I just thought that was so fun. And then I just kind of realized that this is just going to be just a fun thing.
Yeah, I guess you have to take it that way. You know, you can't take this thing too like it's supposed to be serious. You know, obviously, you know, but not to the point where you're going to be like, you know, I'm looking for an Oscar, you know, nominated performance. You know what I mean from this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like this whole death
Sergeant
metal
Rock,
thing.
what a great person to play.
Oh yeah, and like I don't know if you've heard Greg Capullo speak. Like he's got a great voice for it. I think he's going to kill it. But you have all these, you know, metal rock stars. You know, you got the Andy, is it Biersack, the lead singer of a band called Black Veil Brides? I don't know. He's playing Batman.
Hope that's what his name is, man.
It's not spelled as I pronounced it there. I did my best. Chelsea Wolfe, who's a folk and doom metal singer, apparently. Of course, David Hasselhoff, Superman. And the list goes on. I honestly don't know these people or these bands. This is not what I listen to. But I'm sure if you're a fan of this DC metal stuff, I mean, this is up your alley. So this will be fun little animated shorts that are apparently going to be on DC's YouTube channel. Fun, interesting. I didn't expect to find this amongst David Hasselhoff playing Superman. You know, this is.
When was the last time David Hasselhoff has played something that wasn't like him being like him in a movie, like as a meme
himself?
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
I feel like he was just David Hasselhoff. Well, he technically played Ego there for a second, right?
True.
Like, is this what you want me to look like?
But it's as like a joke. You know what I mean? Like, he's always in there as a joke. Like he's not. It's never like, oh, this is David Hasselhoff doing this. Like, I don't know. It's just.
Well, this is just a fun little thing.
It is fun. Yeah.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Now I think we are setting ourselves up for something negative here now. A while back, Hulu announced that they were doing a bunch of animated shows, and originally they were doing that Howard the Duck show. Was it Howard the Duck and Hitmonkey? I think it was, and then Tigra and Dazzler, MODOK.
Yep.
I think there was one more. I don't remember. I think they all got canceled except for MODOK.
Yep.
But New York Comic Con over the weekend, Hulu's MODOK had a panel, and we got our first sneak peeks. We got some screenshots, and we got a couple of clips. Now, I didn't want to watch the clips. I'm gonna be honest. I looked at these screenshots, and I was like, "What?" Like, I didn't know it was gonna be this like claymation Robot Chicken style figures. And honestly, claymation freaks me out. Like, I cannot watch claymation. I can get through Robot Chicken. I don't know if it's because like they're like action figures and it's a little different. I don't know what it is. But I watched these clips and it's Robot Chicken, but MODOK. It's a MODOK show that's Robot Chicken style,
but it's clean humor.
Is it?
I mean, there's no like Robot Chicken. You know, there'll be cursing and there's blood.
Well, he said
like,
he
it's
just
like dark humor.
I don't know how clean this is going to be, because in the clip where the woman walks in and she's like, "I'm going to take over AIM." He says
the dog
he says that he just pissed out of what I thought was his mouth. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. That's like Family Guy level. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's going to be family friendly humor necessarily.
I just think it looks absolutely awful. I think they should cancel it right now. I feel like Marvel already like finished it and they were like going through it and they're like, okay, we'll do the MODOK one, but we're not doing any of the other ones. This is just a waste of time. I feel, honestly, that's what I feel like happened after watching. I couldn't even get through the second clip. I got halfway through it and had to turn it off because It was literally just like they're making jokes. It's not even like funny. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just like someone's trying really hard. It's like a YouTuber was trying really hard to try to make like a MODOK like robot chicken thing, and it's just not good.
Well, okay, just to play devil's advocate here for the second, what do you think is the difference between Marvel doing something like this and DC doing something like Teen Titans Go?
I think that it's Teen Titans Go is actually funny.
So that's it. It's just actually funny.
It's actually good content. I would have no problem if Marvel did like Teen Titans Go, but like, I don't know, like Young Avengers Go or something. You know what I mean? Like Young Avengers, where it's not, because it's obviously Teen Titans Go is not as a secondary team. It's not like the Justice League. If you did something like that and it was the same like almost script as Teen Titans, I'd love it. I would think it's awesome. It's funny. My
answer to that, what's problematic for the show like MODOK is a relatively obscure character. I mean, Marvel's obviously starting to push him now in multiple mediums for a reason. But the general audience is not familiar with MODOK. And it's a really weird kind of mainstream introduction to like, hey, look, this character is dumb and it's a joke and it's stupid. Like, don't take it seriously. And if you're going to bring him into the MCU, it's kind of weird. Like because to bring this character in MCU, like I think he's got to be really dark. He's got to be like this really ugly, you kind of like, he's gross, but you feel bad kind of a thing, you know?
Well, you know, obviously Marvel's pushing to have him in the future, right? Mm-hmm. And he's in he's the main bad guy for their Marvel's newest video game, right? Marvel's Avengers. And I don't understand how you're going to literally say when you guys are like doing interviews about the video game, we're trying to make people take this character seriously, and at the same time you're developing a TV show that's a complete joke about the character.
Yep.
It just doesn't make sense.
I think if they wanted to do a funny show like Teen Titans Go, or you know, even Robot Chicken, if they wanted to do this Robot Chicken thing, like wouldn't it be easier for the general audience to accept, oh, this is just a joke, it doesn't have anything to do with anything, if it was characters they were already familiar with, even if it was like the Avengers, you know, like what the Avengers did, like in between, you know, fighting crime, like, oh, it's Hulk's turn to do laundry to, you know, this week, but you just know, this is a joke and this is not serious. If you just introduce MODOK like that, you don't know whether or not to take him seriously when he actually comes around. I think that's what the problem is.
Yeah, and I think if you look back at some of the like Avengers TV show, you know, that Earth's Mightiest Heroes was a little more serious, but then the latest one, what's it called?
Assemble.
Assemble. That one was a little less serious. There were still serious moments, but you still had that moment, a couple moments of, you know, Hulk and Hawkeye playing video games and Hulk keeps breaking the controller, like silly things like that. And it was okay. Like, it's fine. It's funny. You know, it's for kids, but you also know that like it's kind of makes sense at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was good. It was entertaining. This is just, it's not even funny. And I don't know, it just doesn't make any sense. And then you're also introducing an organization that was in one movie, that was in a movie for like 20 minutes. And then like, you know what I mean? You're kind of like ruining that whole, it's bad enough Iron Man 3 was ruined as it was. Mm. Now you're like digging in a bigger grave.
Yeah, that's kind of true. That's a good point, actually. Well, I don't know if I should encourage you guys to watch this, but just I would encourage you to watch it just in case you try to turn it on and are disappointed.
I feel like this is something I would expect Marvel to do something like this, if only it was Howard the Duck, because this is like Howard the Duck, like to a T. Like I feel like if he's on this show, it would just make sense because he's stupid and it's like dumb and he has the same humor almost as like Robot Chicken, basically.
Yeah, do you think I'm not even 100% sure.
I don't know. He's just he's such a lame character. Just
character either.
Just they should have just did that instead of MODOK. It's to me it's a risk for no reason.
Yeah, it's certainly weird. But like I said, you guys go take a look and don't take our word for it. You know, go judge for yourself and let us know what you think. Know.
Yeah, can't wait to hear that.
In happier news, Jamie Foxx is joining Spider-Man 3, reprising his role as Electro, which I honestly have mixed feelings about.
But he did say it's slightly different. So
he did say it's different, and he's not blue this time. So I guess, any hesitation that you would have about it, Marvel's going to do it Marvel's way. They're not going to look at what Sony did and say, okay, we're going to do this little dweeby thing. And, because Jamie Foxx is such a good actor. I don't understand why he took that role. I mean, I would take any role in a Marvel film. Don't get me wrong. But I just felt like it was so shallow of a role. Like anyone could have done that. You know, it was and it's been done, oh, I'm jaded now. So I'm mad at the superhero. It was like the plot of The Incredibles. It was.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, I love Jamie Foxx. He's a great, phenomenal actor. I think he will do a great job. I think it means a lot of things for the Marvel, Sony, and MCU, movies, as far as, trying to mix the universes together. I think it's a huge step, because I think even though he said he's playing it differently, I still think there's still some tie into the previous Spider-Man movie that he was in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is all positive. Like I said, I don't, as long as it isn't him playing the same type of, Electro, as long as it's, a little different take on the character, I'm all down for it. And it's cool to see him part of, the Sinister Six potentially.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder what deals they have going on, now all of a sudden we're playing nicely. We're starting to mix certain bad guys. We're bringing back, a bad guy from the Andrew Garfield movies. We already brought back J. Jonah Jameson,
Yeah.
He was different, right? They didn't put the wig on him. They just kept him bald. Although we saw in the interview that was probably just a time constraint, but it was the same actor, right? But he was playing the same character, and it wasn't necessarily different, but it could end up being a little different. We'll see. But I mean, just being bald, the character was different, right? So it's interesting. So now, legitimately, they're acknowledging that the Sony movies are an alternate reality, which is kind of cool. It makes those Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield movies not feel like a waste, because J.K. Simmons is from the Tobey Maguire movies, not even the Andrew Garfield movies. So now we have actors who have been in both of those franchises coming. And with Benedict Cumberbatch being confirmed for Spider-Man 3, will just be coming off of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, what is going to happen?
I mean, I think it's obvious. It's a Spider-Verse movie. It's what we're going to get. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought we would have to wait a lot longer before we got this, but I think it makes sense, and is probably going to, obviously catapult everything with Kang and all that stuff. I think that was such a huge announcement. Does Spider-Man come out before Doctor Strange?
I think it's after.
Is it?
I think so. Well, now they got delayed, so I don't know where it falls on the scheme of things. Upcoming Marvel films.
Because I want to say Spider-Man's supposed to come out in July, right?
July 2021.
I thought so. I could be completely wrong, though. I don't even know if they started filming. It feels like that might be too short.
Black Widow's May 2021. Shang-Chi is July 9th, 2021. Eternals, November 5th, 2021. Spider-Man 3, December 17th, 2021. Thor Love and Thunder, February 11th, 2022. Oh, yeah, you're right. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th, 2022. The Spider-Man is first. So it's going to jump into the Multiverse of Madness. So there's going to be consequences from WandaVision for a little bit here.
So it's quite possible, I think, that we're going to see Cumberbatch and Tom Holland, I think, in multiple movies. I'm talking about like Spider-Man being in the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange potentially being in WandaVision. Because especially we do know that Benedict Cumberbatch has no problem doing TV shows, right? And who knows? Maybe Tom Holland will be even in one of the other movies, like Love and Thunder or Eternals. Who knows?
I hope this means they figured out whatever they needed to figure out. You know, Marvel can use Spider-Man stuff, and then if someone wants to run off and do their own whatever, they can do it, and they know it's their own alternate universe that has nothing to do with the MCU. All I have to do is play together for a little bit, and they can both do whatever they want. Because we saw Michael Keaton was in Morbius. That's an MCU. That was an MCU movie. You know,
it's just kind of weird because it seems like the Spider-Man films, where Sony really should be making their like the big movies, is basically being done by Marvel now, right?
Yeah.
So that part's just kind of weird, right? Which makes sense why they're doing like a Morbius, because they're like, well, if we're going to do a film about something, we put it around that and then maybe put Spider-Man in it, right? Because they're allowed to do that.
Well, maybe now they'll, if Sony wants a mainstream Spider-Man, right? Maybe what they can do is they're setting up this Spider-Verse thing, right, with multiple Peter Parkers. Maybe this can lead to the introduction of Miles Morales, because Miles Morales originally was just part of the Ultimate Universe. And in that universe, Peter Parker died and Miles Morales became Spider-Man. So maybe then Sony can have their own universe and have Miles Morales Spider-Man. You know,
that's fine. Just give me Black Hat.
Yeah. Yep.
And throw her in the MCU, and I don't want you guys ruining it. Don't ruin that for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it makes sense with the video game coming out too, the Miles Morales video game.
Yep, and it's a PlayStation exclusive. So, I mean, Sony has a stake in Miles Morales now. You know,
right?
So that's a really important venture. So I don't.
Although so here's a question though I have. I know we don't know the details of the Marvel deal, right?
Yeah,
but you'd have to imagine that Marvel has to own the rights to Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So unless they gave them the rights to Miles
actually,
Morales,
that's not true. Spider-Man, I think, was sold. Spider-Man was a bad deal. They sold it off to Sony, and it was before even the X-Men. And since the X-Men was also after the Spider-Man deal was done, I was watching an interview with Chris Claremont, and they told all the Marvel writers to not create any new characters in X books because that gives rights automatically to Fox. So by that theory, by that logic, since Miles Morales was introduced in a Spider-Man book, the rights to Miles Morales come with Spider-Man.
Maybe.
I think definitely. He wasn't introduced in a Miles Morales book. He was introduced in Ultimate Spider-Man.
He was introduced in a free comic book day comic, wasn't he?
If you're going off of eBay listings, his first appearance is Marvel previews, you know, whatever. Which I found one of those, by the way. One of those free preview issues. Like, I have one. I found it. It was crunched in the bottom of the bag after I moved, and I'm flattening it out right now.
I don't know. We'll see if it is. That's assuming the same deal, though.
I mean, it has to be. It was even worse than the X-Men deal because it was first and it was perpetual. You know, There's no expiration on anything they were giving out at the time. Look at the rights to Hulk, the distribution rights. They're still tied up at Universal, and they haven't done anything.
Which is ridiculous. Like, just give it up already. Just take the money for it. If you're Universal, you just be like, hey, give me like $500 million. I'll give it back to you.
They sat on that for 12 years now because of the last Hulk movie. They played Paul, right? Because of the Edward Norton Hulk movie. Yeah. So we'll see, I guess. Just a theory, but I mean they're pushing Miles Morales, so I don't think it's that far fetched.
I think that's a great theory, to be honest. I think it make sense, and it would be it's a kind of that story is kind of sad, and it's a good story though.
But then you can also kill Peter Parker without having consequences to the MCU.
You already killed him once.
Okay, you can kill Peter Parker again without having consequences.
But you can kill old MCU. Peter Parker, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So you kill Tobey Maguire.
Yes. So Steve's going to be excited.
Steve, you hear this? We're going to murder Tobey Maguire in MCU.
His Spider-Man is just going to die, so Miles Morales can exist within that timeline.
What if they do? What if they make like a Kraven's Last Hunt movie and they just base it off of him actually killing Spider-Man though, and then you have him actually kill it, and then Miles Morales is like beats him, and then he ends up getting sucked into the universe. I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
You could, but I don't know. I wouldn't want to mess with Kraven's Last Hunt too much like that, and like just lump it in with just Peter Parker dying and Miles Morales. I think it deserves more than that. I mean, I would love them to do Kraven's Last Hunt as a movie. It's a perfect movie, but it would make a better movie if Kraven was a bad guy in a Spider-Man film first.
You know what I could see happening though?
Even Sinister Six film where they fight Spider-Man. Yeah, what?
The whole Spider-Man and Doctor Strange being in the same movie, right? You have Spider-Man going into like different dimensions and universes and stuff. And maybe, there's a bad guy like a Kang or something crazy in that.
Yeah.
And you have people think Spider-Man dies. Like he's just webbing around and you kill him and he's dead. And like Doctor Strange is like, oh my gosh, he's dead. Like freaking out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you realize like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, that was the Spider-Man in this universe, but they made you think it was Tom Holland. You thought Tom Holland died, but it turned out it was a different one.
Yeah.
To get the audience, everyone's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
There's a lot of crazy things they can do. Like we're gonna be on the edge of our seats for sure. But it's exciting because it also reminds me of like the 90s Spider-Man cartoon at this point, because now Doctor Strange is coming in. It's like one of the crazy crossover episodes,
Right.
And that's what was always most exciting was the team ups, like when he teams up with Doctor Strange or the X-Men or Blade, does this imply that, is there a potential for Blade to be in the Morbius movie now? How far does this go?
Yeah, I think you don't announce an actor that soon from anything being created with the character unless he's going to be in something before it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to be awesome, and especially the last two Spider-Man movies ago now. The first one was a team up movie. It was Iron Man and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great thing to do, especially in the comics. Spider-Man was in like every team up comic ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was always Spider-Man and Captain Britain, Spider-Man and Thing, Spider-Man and whoever.
And he tried to team up with Mysterio, but it backfired.
Right. Because Mysterio was kind of a good guy, but he ended up not being a good guy.
Yep. Deception. Well, yeah, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. Little bit of a short episode tonight, but we wanted to get this out to you guys. But we appreciate you all taking the time to listen. Like I said before, if you do enjoy the episode, share it on social media, tell your friends about it. We appreciate you all listening out there. Interesting numbers from last week. Saw Russia, Spain, Australia, and gosh, the fourth country slipping my mind. So, no matter where you're listening to Nightcap Chat, we definitely appreciate your support, and let us know what your thoughts are on the MODOK show and what you're most excited for in the MCU going forward. Lance?
And you guys can catch me on Twitch at Tales of Lance, and on Twitter and Instagram at Tales of Lance. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I guess I'll see you next week.
Well, thank you all for taking the time to listen. We love you. Be safe, and we'll catch you all next week.